This is DearMamaSal, and it's Monday morning, and a pretty Monday morning, sort of not too hot, not too cold. It is 18 degrees already here in southern British Columbia, which will make it about 64 as I go to work in northern Washington State. So very pleasant. I forgot to check what the weather forecast actually was, so I've dressed for a warm day. Okay, now this is something really weird. For some reason, all the telephone wires here seem to be lower than usual. What would cause that? Huh. Do you know what I mean? They're just all hanging much lower than they should be. Heat, maybe? You'd think that heat would... Yeah, maybe. Anyway, so they do look incredibly, incredibly low. So I thought today's word, if we haven't had it, I don't think we have actually, would be nice if we had a look at beauty. And I don't mean just the beauty of the flowers and landscapes, but the beauty of people. Not the beauty as in beauty guru, but the beauty of their being. You know, I keep looking at what happened in the last couple of weeks and how many really tragic stories there were just in the DearMamaSal network, and the beauty of the viewers. You know, I was just absolutely amazed with how beautifully they genuinely cared. And somebody asked yesterday on the broadcast, did I believe you could make friends on the internet? And you know, obviously I went both sides of that, which is be very careful. Be very careful indeed. You know, for those of you who watch Catfish. But do I believe that friendships can be made on the internet? Absolutely. I've made them. And how do I know that they're friends? By their actions. And I say by their actions, but they have the courage to question things, and they have the soul to realize that doing what I do perhaps isn't just quite as easy as some people think. And so I really am hitting all the orange lights today. So I really value those people. I can always remember I did something one day, and I think it was Ashley that queried what I had done, queried my motivation for something I'd done. And I really respected that. Because that told me something I'd done made her uncomfortable. And but before she made a major judgment on it, she decided to check my side of it first. So you look at that and you go, that's a friend, in my book. I look at all sorts of wonderful things that people did, you know, around the time of Bean passing. And so you look at all these things and you go, wow, that's beautiful. Because it's honoring people for who they are. This weekend, Leah, for those of you who know Leah, put up an unbelievably moving vlog, a long vlog, it was an hour long, but put up this vlog about the incredible nightmare she had with plastic surgery, or cosmetic surgery as it turned out. And, you know, you couldn't help but be moved by the beauty of her spirit. Because there was no doubt in my mind that to be able to go through that experience and not be bitter and blaming and, you know what I mean, nasty, was pretty impressive, to put it mildly. And especially as this happened to her as she was about to get married. And obviously when she wanted to look her best. So you look at this and you go, wow, that is a beautiful person. And her sense of humor, which I'm sure she had beforehand, but her sense of humor, you know, obviously was still intact at the end of it. And I think it's a beautiful thing when you can go through a really bad experience, and a lot of you have, and still keep your sense of humor. I think it is beautiful when Carrie can go through all that she's gone through in the last couple of weeks, you know, moving and everything else that went on with that story, and then with the passing of her father. And I think it's beautiful that she didn't pick up a cigarette. Because that tells me that she has taken control over that devil in her life. And because we know, and she said it when she came on to the broadcast yesterday, you know, oh, it would have been so easy. She had every reason to do it. But she was smart enough to know she takes one cigarette, and then tomorrow it'll be 2, and the next day it'll be 5. Not literally, but you know what I mean. That's how it works. And then the next thing is you're back to a pack a day. So just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful to hear that. And I look at all that we continue to do and hear about on the broadcast, and I go, wow, how beautiful is that? It's difficult for me because I'm going, it's not about pride as much as, well, it is. I have to say it's pride in the group as a whole. But it's, as you know, it's a dream come true for me. It's exactly what I wanted to try and create. The only problem now is that the group is getting so big, the broadcast, when I say the broadcast group, but that we really have to start sort of almost getting new roles for people, because obviously 1 or 2 of us can't do it all, and so more and more people are stepping up to help that part. I'm so scared we're going to forget something really important for somebody. And especially with me trying to remember it. But it's beautiful that we have got that problem. And so I would ask you today, have a look at what is beautiful in your life. And, obviously look around as I pass this beautiful nursery and look at all the flowers, which obviously are beautiful. But look around your life and really enjoy what is beautiful. What is physically beautiful, but also don't forget what is deeper than that and beautiful. The lesson that really you look at about beauty only being skin deep is that there are a lot of beautiful people in the world, and there are a lot of people obsessed with beauty in the world. But I always think about Judy. And there's beauty, and then there's true beauty. Now, does that mean that she's perfect? I'm pretty sure she's not. She does a good imitation of it. But no, I don't think so at all. So I look at it and I go, but overall, I see her as a beautiful person. So now that makes me think about, and perhaps you guys can give me your feedback. What do you see as a beautiful person? Because maybe that will help more people be more beautiful. So other than the fact that let's ignore the physical beauty for a moment, what makes a beautiful personality? Is it that they don't judge? Is it that they are nice to be around? They're happy people? Or what is it that makes a beautiful person, in your view? Now, I'm pretty sure that all of you have got friends, hopefully, and if you haven't, then maybe this is worth discussing. But I look at it and go, what makes a beautiful friend? And part of me goes, I'm pretty sure it's somebody who's supportive and somebody who is nice, good fun to be around and all those things. But I wonder how many of you admire your friends for being honest. Is honesty a beautiful thing to you? Or would you rather that they kept their mouths shut? Of course, that says a lot about the person as well. Do you understand? Because if all you ever want to hear are the good things about yourself, then, it's possible that your confidence level needs a bit of adjustment. It's a really important thing to watch out for, is that we need to be able to take negative input as easily as we take positive input. In other words, I'm still not good at it, don't get me wrong. I don't want you to think that I'm good at this, because I'm not. I'm way too aware of that. But, one of the things I learned as a speaker was that everybody's entitled to their opinion. And so I knew I would never please them all. That's a reality. And then luckily I got that straight in my mind early on. And the other thing was, you know, I would listen to what the negative feedback was and go, is that true? I'm trying to think of an example. Let's say, well, I really didn't like the way you picked on men. Let's say I did that. I don't know even why I'm using that as an example, but let's say I did it. And I'd say, oh, thank you for your opinion. Do you understand? That is, thank you for your opinion. Because that's what it is. Doesn't mean the whole room didn't like it. That person didn't. And then I would say, I'll give that some thought. Have a look at that. Thank you. I appreciate you bringing that to my attention. Because what that does is it then sort of diffuses the person that's having the criticism. Amazing how many people went, oh, okay. And then, you know, then I believe that it's a really good idea to thank them for their courage. Because it does take courage to stand up and say something that's not nice sometimes. And maybe it's meant in a friendly way. Just because it's not good feedback doesn't mean that it's not good feedback. Wait a minute, let me rephrase that. Just because the feedback doesn't feel good doesn't mean it's not good feedback. However, as I've said many, many times before, if it's one person's feedback, then it doesn't have quite the same weight as, let's say, 30 people telling me that. Now, I don't know if any of you have done self-inventories in your life. But it's amazing how few people can own up to their bad points. You know, people are really glad to tell you their good points, or some have difficulty, I know. But it's a really strange thing because I think there's some beauty in actually owning your bad points. And I personally believe that some people's bad points are actually part of what makes them such interesting people. So just have a look at, you know, beauty not being just superficial. Have a look at your life today and look at the beauty in all its aspects. It's so easy to ooh and ah, you know, as I go looking for puppies, and yet there was one viewer who was deeply disturbed in such a beautiful way about the fact I was going and visiting dogs in cages, and said that, you know, he couldn't do it because it would break his heart. And then I wrote back and told him my truth about that, which was actually I'm delighted that they're in cages and not running around as strays. At least where they are, I know they're getting, you know, good meals and exercise and stuff like that. I know it's a temporary prison until they hopefully get owned. But I said I look at it in a positive way, which is thank goodness somebody saved the dog and stopped it from being run over or starving to death, or, you know, some of the terrible things you see with these strays. And actually I was delighted that he wrote back and said, you know, that's quite a good point. Maybe I will look at a pound next time. Wow. That, I must admit, my opinion of that person went up dramatically, because the start was I would never do it. It would break my heart, which then when I answered it from the point not of my heart but of the dog's perspective, you know, you could tell that he thought, wait a minute, that was maybe a bit selfish. Right? Maybe I should think of it from the dog's point of view. And saw it differently. So I love that. I thought that was beautiful. So have fun with that today. And try and listen. Don't hear everything negative as something nasty. Maybe it's not. And just have a beautiful day. All right, this is Dear Mama Sal saying bye-bye for now.